consider the problem which I solved previous time, sorry. And I will show several methods of solution of these questions. That means it is very simple questions. It is, again, I will plot this graph. That means I will read these examples. That means the triangle plate shown on the figure has a constant density of delta equal to 3g centimeter cube. Find A, the plate moment my about the y-axis. B, the plate mass m. The coordinate of the plate's center of mass or cm center. That means delta is equal 3 gram centimeter cube. That means the mass on the plate distributed uniformly. So that let us now will plot this triangle. It is right angle triangle. That means that I will choose the coordinate system like this, which is given in the book. That means this x coordinate, here's the y coordinate. One of the vertex coincides with the origin. So we have here the one side equal to this side 1 centimeter, other side equal to 2 centimeter. That means we have the following plate. That means a right angle triangle, like this. That means it is necessary to find the moments respect to this axis and this axis. That means that we know that m, that means because it is not one dimension, therefore we will make the following. That means it is possible to divide this plate for many strips. That means I will divide by following. Initially, that's vertical. I will take the vertical strips like this. You see, that means it is the distance, that width of these strips very small, and it is dx. That this is a vertical strips. That means let us I will it is idea the following, that this is a two-dimensional. It is in general it is necessary to apply the two-dimensional integrals. But if we know how possible to reduce to one-dimensional integral, in this case it should be very easy to solve these questions. Let us now, I will take some arbitrary strips, which is I will take this one, these strips. That means this is a coordinate of this strip dx. That means the width should be equal dx. That means the coordinate of this x and coordinate of this, you see, y on this strip changed. Therefore, but I know because this is possible, because if the distance, that means that the width will be very small, therefore the center of mass of this strip exactly will be in the center. Why? Because this is here the mass distributed uniformly. It is like this case. That means if you take here the sum, this strip, length L, and here the mass distributed uniformly, exactly center of mass should be in the center. That means here the center. I will write as the x delta. So the coordinate of this center of mass, I will write as the x delta and y delta. That how to define x delta? That means I will find initially x delta by following. You see the coordinate of this every point the same, x. Therefore, we will write x delta equal to x. But y delta, it is this point. That means it is exactly midpoint of this strip. How we can find in this case this this his coordinate? That means that you see if the function which is defined this line defined by this equation y equal to 2x, because this you see when x equal to 1, here the y will be equal to 2. Therefore, these functions define this line. So, because in this point, when coordinate will be x, that means center of mass will be exactly half of this, half of y. That means y tilde equal to y divided by 2. That means there should be x. So we know what will be for that given for considered strip. For considered strip, what should be center of mass? That means this will be x. Other coordinate will be also x. Okay. That means possible to make the same for other strip. I will start from this one. That means it will be here, then should be here, 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 and so on. That means if you plot, that means exactly you receive this line. That means the center of mass of all these strips lies on this line, which is divide this side to half. That means this side. That means this is we call the median on this triangle. That means in median we place it the center of mass. Let us now, I will find what will be the mass of this strip. That means because here the width will be, that means you know, to find the mass for it is necessary multiply if we consider the plate. That means if you know area of this plate, you must multiply 2 rho if the mass distributed uniformly. That means that therefore, because here the mass distributes uniformly, therefore I will write that that means dm should be equal to delta times to what? To its height. That means the height will be y multiplied to dx. That means that dm, I know this mass because this concentrated at this point. That means for all it is you see it's the same result should be for any other strips. So we can write now that means I replace two-dimensional integral to one-dimensional integral. I will take the I will take the integrations. That means my should be equal to integrals from, that means because integration we perform over the x, that means from 0 to 1, here y tilde dm, which is equal integrals from 0 to 1. I substitute this value, this value x, sorry, here that should be x. I'm sorry. X, that means x multiplied to dm. dm, this is this one. That means dm. dm should be equal should be equal to delta. Here, y, which is, that means here also possible to replace, that means the delta multiplied to x to the x. Therefore, because the y equal to 2x, that means that here will be 2, here the x to the x. That means we receive this simple integral because the delta is the constant. Therefore, remove from the integral, I receive 2 delta integral from 0, 1. Here will be x squared to the x, which is very easy to calculate. That means it will be x cubed. That means 2 delta. Here, integral, that means x cubed divided by 3 from 0 to 1. That means this, if you calculate this integral, this will be 1 by 3. That means we receive the answer 2 delta divided by 3. That means we receive these results. For a moment. Now mass. Let us calculate the total mass. Mass m integral. That means it is necessary to calculate dm. That's possible. That means that if you insert here the dm equal to this one, that means this integral will be integral from 0 to 1. Here will be delta multiplied to x to the x. That means that if you calculate this integral, that means it gives us x squared divided by 2. This is cancelled. We receive the answer delta. That means the mass equal to value of the delta because the x, because the integration from 0 to 1. Okay, but possible much more easier to calculate the mass, not necessary to use this integration. Because this is the plate, triangle, that means right angle triangle, it will be equal, the mass of this should be equal to what? Area of this triangle multiplied to density. That means the mass equal to delta multiplied to area. What should be area of this one? That means the area should be equal to, you see, this side equal to 1. That means this side equal to 2. That means that it will be equal to product of this to this half. Because this will be 2 divided by 1. Again, you receive, that means delta times 1. That is equal to delta. That means that mass equal to value of this value. Okay, now let us now calculate what will be x coordinate of the center of mass of this plate. For this case, it is necessary this value my divided to total mass. That means if you substitute this value, that means the 2 delta divided to delta, here's the 3, you see delta equal cancelled. That means you receive 2 by 3. That means we receive 2 by 3, which is tell us that when we have the density is constant, in this case the coordinates of the center of mass, such object, doesn't depend on the material from which constructed this plate. You see, that means that here maybe any delta instead of the 3 grams centimeter cube, maybe 5, 6, 7. The result will be completely the same. Now we calculate mx. Mx, because I told that it is necessary to all mass, I decided concentrated on this line. That means it will be necessary to take y delta multiply to dm. That means that we must calculate these integrals. That what should be in this case result? Because you see y delta equal to y by 2, that means which is x. That means again I receive here integral from 0 to 1. Here the x to the m. To the m. You see, I receive, this is for given case we receive such result. That means mx coincides with the my. Because here, you see, we must, this will be dm. Therefore, it is the answer, if you calculate this result, you will receive the same result, 2 by 3. 2 by 3. I omit these calculations because it is much easier to perform. So we receive this one. Come. Yeah.
Sir, this is not visible, sir, in the camera.
Yeah?
Please change the marker.
Okay, I will change the marker.
Yes, sir. That's fine.
Maybe switch.
Maybe I switch the light off. This one, the hard side, to switch it off.
No, 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 no.
Okay.
Well, let us now we consider other possibility to find here find the center of mass. Before we take the strips in vertical. Now I will consider horizontal. That means that I will take now this case. That means again the same plate. Here's the 1. Here's the 2. Here's the 2. Now we take this, like these strips. That means the horizontal strips. That means, of course, this is the second method. It doesn't matter how you calculate. Again, you see, because this is a mass distributed uniformly, that means that in this case, in any of these strips, the center of mass of this strip exactly lies in the center. Let us, I will consider this one. That means here the width will be dy. This is the center, which is equal to exactly the half of this length. That means it is necessary to find the position of this respect to this about this O coordinate. That means now x coordinate will be it is necessary to find that for that means initially I will find what will be the coordinate of this, because now I will take the move along this strips up or down. That means I go about the y-axis. This is y-axis, this is x-axis. Therefore, now independent variable should be y. Therefore, instead of you use this, that means from this equation, which is defined the relation between the y and x, I must find the x. What that means the inverse function. That means the x should be equal to y divided by 2. So that now x is the function, or this is inverse function for respect to y. So that means the center of mass, because you see how possible to find the center of mass. That this is length equal to 1. Here the coordinate y. Therefore, x coordinate, that means that if from this distance, total distance, this, that means from y axis to this vertical sides, if I will, this distance will be 1. That means if I will decide that this length equal to L, that this distance. Now I make the following. That means that if here the coordinate of this, I will take the x, that means the y, L will be equal to what? I will take that, that means because here this coordinate equal to y, this is y. That means from this distance, I subtract this distance. That means which is x. You see, this is a relation between this x and this curve defined by this one. Therefore, 1 minus here should be y divided by 2. That means the length equal to length of this part equal to 1 from this total distance. I must subtract this distance, which is should be y by 2, because it is coincide with the center of mass of this strip. That I simplify, that means 2 minus y divided by 2. Okay, that now position of this, that means that if from total distance, which is equal to 1, I subtract this half, I receive exactly coordinate of the x. That means the x tilde will be equal to 1 minus L by 2. That means I subtract this distance, which is a half of this length. So here will be 1 minus 2 minus y divided here by 4. Because it is necessary, this is divided by 4, by 2 also. Therefore, here there will be 4. So we receive the coordinate will be, you see, after simplification, I receive 2 plus y divided by 4. That means we receive this coordinate for x. Now we make that now what will be here dm. That means the dm should be equal to rho multiply to its length. Length equal to this one. 2 minus y by 2. That means 2 minus y divided by 2. Well, now my should be equal to integrals. Here's the x tilde to dm. Let us substitute xm from here. That means 2 plus y divided by 4, and from this one, dm. Here's a multiply with y. Sorry, I forgot about the width, because it is necessary length multiply to area should be length multiply to width. So we now my should be equal integration now over y from 0 to 2 here to x equal to 2 plus y divided by 4 and multiply to dm. That means rho multiply 2 minus y divided by 2 and dy. That means we receive this integral. Let us I simplify. You see, 2 plus y and 2 minus y, which give us this product, give us 4 minus y squared. that means the my should be equal to here. I will, yeah, sorry, here we denoted by this delta. Delta. That means here's a delta. Therefore, here there will be delta. That means here there will be delta divided to 8. Here we receive integrals. 4 minus y square, my square, dy from 0 to 2. If you calculate this integral, you receive the same result, which is, I omit the calculate because it is very simple integral. You receive the following answer. That means 2 by 3. By 3 gives this integration of this one. After simplification, you receive this one. You see, the total mass, doesn't depend because here will be the same. If you calculate by this one, mass, if you like, or you do like to calculate this integral to dm, you receive the same mass. That means it will be delta. So that means x prime, x bar should be equal. That means it is necessary my divided to m. Again, you receive 2 by 3. That means you see now all these masses, all this strip lies on this line, which is also median, but which is a plot from this vertex of this triangle. And last case, how possible to calculate, but it is a little difficult, but I will omit the calculation because I have no time. That means we calculate now, we make by other separation on the strips. That means again the same triangle. Like here's a 1, here's a 2. That means here's the origin, yeah? But now I will take origin here. Of course, the coordinate should be other, but if I will take respect to this point origin, that it is possible to, using the relation between the different type of the coordinate system, easier to find what will be on this case. That means that I will take now the strip like this. That means this should be strips. Again, that because if I will take these strip, that means here there should be center of mass. Here approximately. That means should be in the midpoint because, again, I repeat once more, that because the density is constant. Then I will take here, should be here, and here. And if you plot the graph, exactly it is lie in this line. Again, we receive the median. In this case, median, in previous the first median, that means we know. If so, that means again I make the same integration of this one, I will take. So I receive the following result. It is possible from geometry also to prove. That means you have this case. Now I will put here again, here's a 1, here's a 2. That means here's our triangle. That now, before it was the following case, we have the vertical strips. It is exactly should be this median. In the median, the second times we receive this. Oh, sorry, not this, other. This is when vertical. When we have the horizontal, the vertical case, that means that it was of this one. So here's the midpoint, this, and here this. That means that you see center of mass lies in the point where all this median and the triangle crossing. It is correct, not only this right angle triangle, for any type of the triangles. Any type of the triangle, like this, like this. That means the center of mass lie. You must plot only medians. It is enough, only 2 median, because this third median also passed from the same crossing in the same point. This is again, I repeat once more, it is depend when the density is constant. So in this case, it is the center of mass depend only, the position of the center of mass depend only in geometry parameter of the object. It is correct not only for this triangle, for any object. Center of mass depend only on geometric parameter of the object, and therefore it is called centroid. It is called the centroid. Let us, I will see these problems. That means how possible. That means let us consider the wire, semicycle wire, which is a linear density, constant. That means we have this wire of radius r. It is not like the semicycle. This center O. That means the radius known r. It is necessary to find, that means that for this wire, find where it will be center of mass. It is very interesting. Center of mass now should be not on the wire, will be lower than half. That means a maximal maximum point. That means the maximal point of some in this point. It is clear from the that means from symmetry that it will be some at some points, not exactly in this radius half, but it is necessary to find. How possible in this case to solve these questions? Again, if you take this x coordinate, here I will take the y coordinate. In general, that means that it is necessary to tell that coordinates of the center of mass respect to this axis equal to 0. That means mx should be x will be equal to 0. Mx should be equal, no, sorry, my will be equal to 0. Mx will be not equal to 0. Y will be empty because my equal, according to the definition, it will be x to the m. Because due to the symmetry, x coordinates coincide with the origin. This is with origin. Y coordinate is the differ. That means this is equal to 0 due to symmetry. If you like, you can calculate the integral. I will show you how. It is this. It is very easy. That means x should be integrals. That means the integral y to the m. That means that this will be not equal to 0. Mass of y, it is mass of y possible, if you like, possible to calculate the integral, but easier because it is distributed uniformly. That means it is the density delta. That means that it is necessary multiplied only to this length. That means it will be pi times r. Delta, density, multiplied to this length. This delta, it is linear density of mass. That means we know this. Now it is necessary to calculate this integral. Because let us, I will change variable. That means to make integrations by x or y, I will make the integration of the theta. That means what will be coordinate y? You see, this is coordinate y, which is equal to this one. That means the y possible to write, if here the angle theta, that we receive that r sine theta. That means y equal to r sine theta. Now it is, let us how calculate the dm. dm, that means I divided for this again for many, some small portions. That means if we take the radius, the distance to this portion will be the same. That means that here the angle will be d theta, r the same, the dl, you know. That means that I decided this is dl. That means that dl should be equal to r multiplied to d theta. Mass dm, the mass of this portion, will be equal to delta times dl. So we have delta times r and d theta. Okay, so that means when I will go make integration over x. That means over x. That means from this distance or from in this distance, because here will be coordinate minus r, here will be r, but it is possible to, instead of integration over x, possible to integrate over the angle using this relation. That means now my we can rewrite in the following form. That means instead of the y, I will substitute this one, this r sine theta, and multiply to dm, delta times r to d theta. And integration should be over the angle. That means from 0, angle here 0, up to the pi. That means the integral from 0 to pi. Let us simplify these integrals. That means the delta and r, it is a constant. It is not changed. Therefore, delta here r square, and integral from 0 to pi. Here will be sine theta d theta. So this integral very simple. That means there will be minus cos theta. That means here the delta, here the r square, and here minus cos theta from 0 to pi. That means if you substitute this, that means from value of the cos in the upper limit, you subtract in the lower limit. In the here, in the upper limit, cos equal to minus 1. Here there will be 1. That will be 1. And here that means equal to minus 1. But here the minus, that means that this result doublet. That means that we receive 2 delta r square. 2 delta r square. Okay, that so now that means now my coordinate equal to mx divided to mass. That means mass should be equal pi, here will be this, result. That means that here we receive the 2 delta r square by delta pi r. That means the delta again cancelled. And we get here the 1r the cancelled. And we receive 2 divided by pi. That means we receive this result. Unfortunately, because now I must consider other topics, therefore I will tell you how possible to solve these questions. That means that this is the coordinates of y coordinate, because y coordinate. Now it is possible to make the following case. Please try solve the same. Let us be given some plate, which is a plate which has the semicircle form. Now it is a plate. This is a constant. Again, delta. Now it is a surface density constant. Constant. It is necessary to find where should be the center of mass in this case. That means the radius, I will take here the radius equal r. That means this is the radius r. That means possible to apply these results. That means if now not it is necessary to take some horizontal plate or vertical plate, also possible to apply, but much easier if you take the plate by as semicircles, which is the halves. Now this is because this radius, you will take this radius r, like this. Because I know where places the center of mass of these wires. Yes, that means that if you take, for example, if I will take this as some arbitrary r, the center of mass of this wire defined by this equation. Oh, I forgot here the r, sorry. R. That means we receive that here center of mass. That means that here this y for this wire should be equal to 2r divided 2 pi, and mass you also you will find yourself, and then you write now integration in this case, because in this case all of them will be this dm. You must consider that it is placed in this point, and integration will be over the r from 0 up to capital R, and you receive, that means that here there will be this is that. Let us, I will, instead of, because it is a changed, therefore I tilde, I will take tilde, here's a dm. dm, the mass of this circle. You calculate and then divide it to, here the mass will be equal to what? This is a semicircle plate, therefore the mass from the total disk mass, you must divide it to that means the pi r square multiplied to delta divided by 2. This will be mass of that. Now the center of mass, if you you will take the y should be integral y tilde this multiply here will be 2 dm. You will find yourself and make the integration, and you find the center of mass. A result you can see in the book also. Okay, now we have only 5 minutes. Before we considered how possible to calculate the integrals. That means the method of integrations. Method of integrations. method of integrations. Of integrations. There are several, you know, we studied this for when we find the antiderivative, that means that undefinite integrals, but now we apply for definite integrals this method because it is the same. Substitution method, then integration by parts, and using the trigonometric changes. That means the substitution of parts. I will consider for the following examples to calculate the integrals. That means I have the following integrals. Integrals from 1 to 2. Here's a 2x minus 3 over under root x squared minus 3x plus 1 dx. It seems very difficult integrals because here's the roots. But as usual, it's very easy to calculate if we make some following substitutions. That means I take here's a variable for integrations. This is a functions, but this is a variable. That means the independent variable x. Instead of the integration over x, I will take other variable. That means I will take the u equal to x squared minus 3x plus 1. Let us what we now I will replace, but initially I will find what will be limits for u in the lower limit of x and upper limit of x. That means if I will take the x equal to 1, from here I will receive u should be equal to, here will be 1 square 1, and here will be minus 3 and plus 1. That means we receive minus 1. That means this will be that means here's a I will check again. That means the 2, here's the x. Sorry, integration from 3. Sorry. From 3 up to the 5. That means here will be other. Sorry. So this should be equal to 9 minus 9 and plus 1. That means the lower limit 1. Now here's x equal to 3. So here's x equal to 3. Now x equal to 5. That means what will be u? U should be equal to 25 minus 15 plus 1. This will be 10. That means you receive 11. That means now I make the substitutions using this variable. That means for this, let us calculate what will be du. Du should be, it is necessary to take the derivative from this function and multiply to the x. That means there will be 2x minus 3 and dx. From here I will find what will be dx. Dx should be, is not necessary to find because possible to see very easily. That means you see here this and this. That means that if this will be 2x minus 3 dx, it's exactly du. That this is u. That means that I receive now instead of this integral, because now integration, if when integrate over u variable, the integration will be from 1 up to 11. Here will be du, because this is a du, divided to under root u, which is possible to write as the integral u minus 1 by 2 and du. Here they from 1 to 11. That this is should be equal to u minus 1 by 2 plus 1 divided minus 1 by 2 plus 1. So this is 1 by 2, that means the 2 should be, that this is will be 1 by 2, that because this is will be 2, and multiply here the u, here the 1 by 2, from 1 to 11. That means that if you substitute this data, upper limit and lower limit, you receive 2 under root 11 minus 1. This is the result for integration. For today, enough. Other methods of integration we consider next time. That's all for today. Thank you.